Um, that's fine. Alright. Hello, everyone. We're back for the next episode, next chapter of the N64 quest on here, and, this is one that I'm really not going to be that great with. It's another one of those, as you can tell from the title, it's another one of these types of, like, professional driving simulations based on a type of racing that I really know nothing about. It seems to be a big thing in Japan, which is where a lot of these types of drivers come from. Especially right here with this game, I just did the F1 game, which I actually had been hoping I could get something interesting out of because, well, you know, it's not a bad game, and I can understand, you know, when it's a good game, when it's a bad game, and so that one wasn't so bad. And then this one, which is supposed to be kind of mediocre, and it's a lot like MRC, which is from last year. Especially the fact that it's only got 3 fucking tracks in it. And then coming up, we have pretty much what our American version of it would be, because there's the first of the 2 NASCAR games coming up. So right now we're kind of in this, like, you know, I gotta do this, I gotta see what's going on with it, but I really know I've played this before and tried to be like, I don't know what kind of racing this is. So I really have not a lot of faith in myself right here. So let's just go into it. Take some automatic transmission. Easy, please. I don't know what that means. I don't know how much of this is the fact that it's a car, or... Okay, so I have to do a qualifying lap. Sure. So qualifying lap, 3 laps. So that wasn't too bad. As I learned in these driving sims to kind of start by tapping your way up the RPMs. Oh shit, that's not what I expected. This is gonna be bad. Wow, I've just already noticed that there's no music and no sound effects, or I mean no sound effects unless I hit something, but no sound effects other than the engine sounds to enjoy while I do this. So holy fucking shit. This thing just kind of, like, flies. Why is it completely dark in this tunnel? Oh my lord. Because you can kind of, like, drift. My best chance on any given turn, judging by that last one there, is to hopefully, like, be able to maintain a drift. But no, I know right away I'm not going to be doing well with this. We're going to try a race. We're gonna try a race. I'm gonna fail immediately. That shorter turn there must have been pit road. Great. I want to know what kind of a lap is realistic for this bit here. Oh lord. Oh god. It was funny. I was checking out the Nintendo Power. There's one issue in Nintendo Power with this game in it, and I actually remembered. I was like, I'm gonna go look at the reviews and see, like, what kind of thing they gave this game, because basically you're looking at this as at this point the N64's best chance to get, like, a Gran Turismo. Like, they got an F1 sim game. The next step up would be, you know, to get, like, a real just a more, like, basic driving sim, which they would get in this, and this would be your equivalent to Gran Turismo. There is an N64 game I know of that was canceled. I can't think of the name of it right now. I think it starts with an R. That would have been the N64 equivalent to Gran Turismo, like, really trying to do that, and definitely wouldn't have come out as well as those games. But this at this point is what we're stuck with, and there's another game. This is another reason that I know I'm not really, like, I'll try harder with the game that I know is better. I'll have a lot more faith in the fact that, like, if I do well with one game, oh my god. Just a feeling like, okay, if I do okay with one of these games, it won't be this one, it'll be the other one. But surprisingly enough, there's a Midway published game based on this type of thing. That turn is fucking bullshit. There's a Midway published title in Spring '99 called World Driver Championship, which is the same type of racing, the same. I honestly, that's the thing that jumps out at me too about this game is I'm like, what the fuck type of racing is this? Like the closest thing we have to it over here is, I'm guessing, NASCAR, because these look like stock cars, but they're clearly not stock cars because NASCAR does not drive on shit like this. So you kind of got me on that one. MRC, like I said, the really shitty game that came out the summer before this one in '97, is pretty close, but also has a really, really weird selection of cars. Even though one of them is objectively better than all the other ones, I still find it funny that they have a really wide selection of cars, whereas these ones pretty much all look the same, and I guarantee you have much more tangible attributes and much different attributes, because I can imagine the people that made this game. Oh no, it was Imagineer. Genki made MRC, and Imagineer made this game. They're both published over here by Ocean. Yeah, I guess they didn't do that bad, huh? So they take your best lap, I guess. Sure, I'll take that. Anyway, let's try a race and see how we do with other cars on the track here. Oh, good, and you get a rolling start too. That's nice. Don't have to try and deal with a good start, even though I kind of like know how to approach it from the F1 games. Yep. Honestly, I'll just take that at this point. Just like, don't lose too much speed. Get me pointed in the right direction going on the next turn. You try to take the corners wide, you try to brake, and I have no feel for games like this. Okay. That's fine. Still only in like 4th place, so. Drifting, don't lose it too much. It's funny, the tail end of the car still wants to, like, keep fishtailing, even though you get the feeling that you're actually, like, back straight. And I don't know if that's realistic or not. I don't know if that's something you'd actually have to contend with. I have no fucking idea how cars like this actually handle. Oh, Christ. Okay. This is fine. This is fine. 6th? Not too bad. Honestly, at the end of the first lap, I literally assume I'm just going to be in last place, so. I mean, 5th, too. Still past that guy, even though I went way off track with that turn. Stay! Christ! You think you're getting it straight. You think you got it. And it just fucks you up right at the end. There you go. Speed back up, boy. Speed back up. Let's do this. Trying to figure out. It just occurred to me that I didn't know what any of the other buttons did. I assume that the C buttons are all going to be the camera. Actually, this isn't too bad of a camera angle. Let's see how I like this. I'm basically competing with this Spider-Man car ahead of me now. This is my opponent for the rest of the race, is this dude. And you notice how he's like not fishtailing his way through all the turns. Oh, there we go. We're in last. We're in last. I made it until halfway through the 2nd lap, but I'm in last. Oh, fucking hell. The thing is just that, like, the racing games that I've played growing up, my whole instinct has just been to hold the accelerator the whole time. And you have to, like, break yourself out of that to play any game that's even halfway serious, and I still haven't really done that all that well. Bring me back to Cruising World, right? Hey, we're back in 6th place. No, no, oh, never mind. Hey, I think that was my best lap so far. I beat the one I had before by a second. Like, I'm trying to accelerate through the turns, and that's what I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do that. Like, anybody who's seen any of my videos on any halfway like serious racing game knows that I've learned nothing, and I assume I'm going to continue to learn nothing from these games as far as how to do things right. Oh no, I'm not complaining about Fortnite. I'm not going to do it on the N64 stream. I'm not going to complain about Fortnite. Fortnite's not a good game though, guys. I'm just going to leave it at that. I've learned that. No, this is just this is a serious style racing game, therefore I have no idea what I'm doing. And the fact is, I somewhat mentioned, I'm coming up on NASCAR too, so I'm not really dying to play like more games like this. I'll kind of breeze through these because I know I'm not going to win anything. I'm not going to win this, I'm not going to win NASCAR, I'm not going to win... I'm probably not going to win World Driver either, but... that's what's happening. Yeah! Last place by a mile. Well, not by a mile. But, not great. Not great. Time difference, 20 seconds from first, so... See what else is there to do here. I mean, I guess I'll just keep going, right? I guess I'll just keep doing these 3 laps because there's only 3 races because there's only 3 tracks. It's kind of overcast here. That wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad as it could be. Oh Lord! And just a hairpin turn right off the bat, and you know. Maybe a quick start, maybe a good start isn't the best way to begin this race. I'm trying to follow the map every time I take a new turn. You realize, of course, that was like, so that was the beginner course, and you came in last by 6 seconds out from the people in front of you. Can I get the thing that they did for me in F1 pole position where they brake for me and they keep me up to speed and I really don't have to do much of anything and still lose? I'm just gonna keep braking super hard. I think that's really the only thing I really can do, huh? Try the new ultra-conservative strategy and see if that helps me even one tiny bit. Which we're really not going to find out until the actual race, so I don't know why I'm trying to keep tabs on it. 131, is that good for this track? I have no idea. How heavy are the back ends of these cars? Like, seriously, it keeps dragging behind me so bad. It wants to fishtail at like every possible moment. Listen to that soothing engine sound. It's great. That's the only thing that you want to hear in a game like this, right? You don't want to hear anything going on with the announcers. You don't want to hear anything with the people watching. You don't want to hear people in your crew talking to each other. You just want to hear the engine sound, which I'll admit I've heard way worse engine sounds. This isn't actually half bad, but it's the only thing I'm listening to. basically what I'm gonna have to assume about this game is this is my impression of it is that this is a perfectly reasonably tuned, reasonably playing driving game. But I have to imagine that even people who are fans of this type of driving would look at this game and say, yeah, but there's really nothing in here. There's a lot of cars. There's a lot of different, teams and vehicles represented. But there's no tracks. There's 3 tracks, and they all have a long and short variation, and that's really it. So I have to assume that even if you enjoy the gameplay, it's going to get old kind of quick. Because there's every reason to assume that the gameplay is decent, but I could be totally wrong about that. I really have no idea. I remember playing F1 Pole Position, the bad one from Human, actually. That was Human. And I think they published it over here, which was unusual. Comparing the Human F1 game to the Video System F1 game, even was totally night and day. Like, you can tell, the controls are just shit. They don't feel like you're actually, like, when you use a control, like, you try to turn in this game, you can at least feel like the game knows what you're trying to do. And that's what I can say about this game. The game at least feels like it knows what I'm trying to do. It just doesn't. It's trying to teach me that that's not possible because physics. It's like, yeah, I get it, but physics doesn't work that way, dude. So at least the physics and the tuning is halfway decent. But like I said, there's really nothing in this game. So I'm struggling to figure out if people who actually think it's good are still going to be able to say it's a good game. You can pretty much tell. As long as I do all 3 tracks, this is going to be the only video I do for this. And very quickly, I'm going to move on to the next game. September of '98 is kind of, it's weird because it's kind of packed with all those typical September releases. It's got Madden and Blitz in it, and Quarterback Club, I think, doesn't come out till October, maybe. So the football games, which are going to be happening regularly, those are going to come out. But there's also the NASCAR game, like I mentioned. There's going to be the EA hockey game. So it's going to be like a lot of your kind of mainstream, like, okay, it finally, like, 2 years into the life of this system, they seem to be getting the full, at least what would seem like a full array of releases every year that you expect. So you do kind of have to get through that, but you also get to see where the developers have gotten to at that point, so I really don't mind it, except for the fact that I have to do a fucking NASCAR game, which I know nothing about, and some other stuff like that. And then there's other stuff in between there. I know Bomberman Hero is coming up real soon. F-Zero X is coming up real soon, and actually that's one thing that I wanted to mention when I look up the games and when I look up, what I'm supposed to expect from them. I just realized that with all the racing games that are on the N64, so I might have mentioned before that when I look up games and I want to see if they're any good or not, I go on GameFAQs, which is now migrated over to the GameSpot thing. But you just enter GameFAQs, FAQS, and you'll find it on GameFAQs. And pretty much any game ever that's gotten to like a physical release will have enough ratings for you to get a good idea of it. But what they do, what I go by largely is user ratings, basically where it ranks on the system, and they use an out of 5 ranking, or an out of 5 number, but that they use 2 decimal points, so it really averages it out really to a really like precise point. So when I was looking them up, I looked up GT64 and I was like, do people have any positive ratings for this game, and it's got 3.21 or something out of 5, and that's pretty much mediocre. And a lot of games that are in that 3 point whatever range are basically, oh, this game is somewhat mediocre. Nothing amazing, but it's not broken. It's not anything wrong with it, because that translates to 6 to 7. But the weird thing that they do, and I do somewhat appreciate this, is that they also have a ranking system. I just realized I'm in 2nd place. God damn. I don't know how I did that, but maybe they're just taking it easy on me. I don't know. But they have a ranking system, and they go by mostly how a game... Wow. Is this really going to happen right now? Wow, I just won the fucking race. Maybe I should just keep talking about completely different shit that has nothing to do with this game and let my mind just shut off and take care of it for me. Either that or the explanation is, like I said, they just completely, took it easy on me and rubber banded me into 1st place. So I came in last in the first one and 1st in this one. So GameFAQs has... They start to do this weird thing where if a game is below, somewhere around a 3.6 or a 3.7 out of 5 rating, ooh, that was good. That was a good start. If it's below that threshold, it also ranks the game as a so-and-so lowest rated on the system for that genre. And if a game is above whatever they consider their threshold, like I said, usually between 3.6, 3.7, it's so-and-so highest rated. So pretty much anything that's in the highest rated range, you can pretty much trust. And then the lowest rated stuff, it's more particular. What I noticed, and I'm getting to the point here, is that for all the racing games that are on the N64, the only ones that are above that, well, I think there was a couple that were above 3.69, so 3.7 and above, but it was only a few. And one of those games was, in fact, World Driver Championship, that had a 3.74, which actually made it the number 4 highest rated game on, highest rated racing game, I should say, on the system. Whereas its closest counterpart as far as the type of game, the type of racing that it involves, GT64 here had a 3.21, so it's just way down there in the middle of the pack. I thought that was interesting, and the only other games that are above World Driver Championship are pretty much the ones you would expect. It's Mario Kart 64, F-Zero X, which is coming up very soon, and Diddy Kong Racing. Other games that were up there were Rush 2049, which I know is really good. Road Rash 64 was right at 3.7. But yeah, it was really interesting that I think it kind of, if you go by that, which you can't go strictly by that, it kind of affirms all of your suspicions about the racing games, especially on the N64, which is that, yes, there are a lot of them, and very, very few of them are truly stellar. A lot of them are going to be in the middle of the pack, and I think to bunch all of the other ones together into this sort of middle of the pack thing is somewhat accurate, but also a little bit unfair, because there's going to be some that you really like out of that middle of the pack, and some that you really don't like. Case in point, GT64 is not my cup of tea. But if you throw Cruisin' World at me, which I'll admit is also not the greatest game from an objective standpoint, I'll be like, hell yeah, I want that one. Because I am basic as shit. So yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about a couple other ones that would be in the middle of the pack, like Destruction Derby, which I really like. Mickey Speedway, which is, once you get down to the lower kart racers, it's low tier kart racer, but mid tier racing game, put it that way. Then you have stuff like Penny Racers. Those will all be in the middle there somewhere. It was just funny to me that there's so many racing games on here on the system. There are so few truly awful ones. MRC is going to be down there for sure. The first F1 game from Human is also going to be down there. But overall, it really is. There's just so many middle of the pack games. But like I said, it was really interesting. The World Driver really does have that good of a reputation compared to all the other ones and compared to its counterpart in this game here, which I'm sure is super exciting right now to watch me play, because I've just been driving around the third track trying to make my time, which actually has very little bearing on the actual game itself, because I'm pretty sure I was bottom half of the pack in that last race, middle of the pack on the first race, and then I came in last and first, respectively. So yeah, it's so lacking in bells and whistles is the thing, and you know, I know bells and whistles are very rarely something to write home about, but goddamn, can't you just try? Can't you just give me that effort and give me some depth to it? MRC just barely gets away with it because it was so early, and I think that was the idea. This game, if it's actually trying to be like a simulation for something that's real, half the point of a simulation is to get a lot of details in there and get a lot of, you know, be able to recreate a lot of things that people see in real life when they watch whatever fucking sport this is actually called. I guess it's just Grand Tour or something. I think that's what it is. But it's like, are there really only 3 tracks in the actual like sport? I find that hard to believe. So here we go, last race. Let's do it. This will be the one video, but at least it'll get me a good half hour. Christ. Oh shit. Alright. Just in time. I had to pull up OBS to see how much time I was running on. Yeah, so if you go by that, say you just right off the bat are actually good at this game, you would beat the championship mode. It would take just under half an hour. So, or just over half an hour if you want to put it that way. Really, that's going to be my main complaint about this game, is like, holy shit, there's really about half a game's worth of content. It's a demo's worth of content. If this was on the PS1, I could easily see this being on... I could see this being on a demo sampler where they maybe only give you access to 2 of the cars, but they still give you access to all 3 tracks. That's the way demos used to be, and I would honestly say, like, yeah, this is the type of amount of content that you get on a demo version of the game. Like, imagine Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo would be on a demo, I'm sure. Probably get his own disc for a demo, I bet. It would probably give you about the same amount of content, which is ludicrous to me. How am I in first? It's because I picked easy, I guess? I don't know. But at some point, you doing the most basic, like, non-fuck-ups. Oh god, I turned into the pit. I don't need this. I don't need this. Well, figure it was probably good for me to at least show what that looks like at least once, even though it's completely unnecessary. When you do 3 laps, I know for a fact it's not necessary to do that. That's why I do it in all the professional racing games. I do it on the F1 games. I do it in fucking Lamborghini, which is not a professional style game at all, but it has a pit area. So yeah, that's what the pit road looks like. Say maybe they would tell you to do it by the end of the race if you were doing this in the long version tracks. But in case you can't, you didn't notice or anything like that, when you see the blue stretches on the track there, those would basically be the long versions, or if you want to say hard versions of the tracks. So there's like a small handful of like extra turns, an extra like mile of track throughout the 3 of them that would come out of the game if you played that much. If you played it on hard, or played it on, it's not hard or easy, it's on the long version tracks. It's not even the right way to say it. You know what's funny is out of the games that I've played like this so far, keeping in mind that like F1 is just not my style. I have to say that I really have enjoyed Top Gear Rally the most. They keep... I keep trying to stay tight on these turns, and it ends up taking me through here because I'm like... I don't know how to, like, remind myself. And I didn't do it any time on the first lap, the trial run, the qualifying lap. Yeah. God damn. Oh, they're coming up behind me now. I'm fucking up now. My run at the top couldn't last forever. And I know, like I was saying, I like Top Gear Rally the most so far because it's a game that I say that based on the fact that it's a game that you have to take somewhat seriously. You do have to break into your turns and everything like that. The different terrain and everything will make a difference. It's not a true simulation racer. It is still pretty arcadey, but and I know that rally racers are also like a completely different entity altogether. But if I'm trying to think of all the games I've played so far that are in the same, just general ballpark, that would be the same one. Because I wouldn't put Top Gear Rally as more of like a cruising style or a rush style racer. It's still a completely different thing. So it's a very hazy divide between the two types of racers. Not this time. You gonna win? I won somehow! Even with decidedly worse laps each time. 3 whole seconds. No, that was it. Apparently, I would imagine I just won the... Oh, okay. So you do the other 3, you do them in the long tracks. Fuck that, honestly. Fuck that. I'm gonna keep the save file up for whatever reason. But, yeah, that's the idea. I can't see myself playing, 3 more races on just slightly longer versions of the tracks. Let's look at what else there is in here, though. So we'll just get one video out of this time trial that's self-explanatory. I would assume that this is just like a one-on-one race. It doesn't, the word battle is pretty misleading there. Yeah, wow, that is it. That is really... There are so little, like, attention to detail. There's really nothing like that in here. That's really... I keep trying, like, I'm looking for something else to do. Like, let's look at all these cars that you have. I mean... They all look mostly the same. Because that's the type of car you drive. I'm not saying that that's not... I mean, there's all Nissans there, because they're Skylines, I assume. I don't know what those are. Oh, no, that's a Nissan. I don't know what the fuck then. I don't know what I'm talking about. See what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing. And you have the Ocean and the Imagineer. The Ocean car looks like a fucking Lambo, which is weird. Huh. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I think the next game I'm gonna do is Madden 99. Because that one, the only date I have for that is just September 98. And then Blitz and Quarterback Club are going to come up at some point, so I'm going to have to space those out. NASCAR 99 is also coming up soon, as well as Bomberman Hero, F-Zero X. There's a couple other ones I know. Buck Bumble is coming up as well. And then that's not all of them, but I think the next one is going to be Madden 99. So that's it for this. If you're at all interested in this type of racing game, I have only played so much of that game. I have only seen so much of it, but based on what everybody said, just stick with World Driver Championship. It's this game with probably a lot more content. So that's it. Bye.